So I did buy this lens from eBay. It's a hexagon Konica 1.7 and it has 6 blades. The aperture, the diaphragm has 6 blades. And just bear with the camera. It's tricky for me to film this close up with a cell phone. Perhaps you can tell that the blades, this is the full close aperture, right? The 1.7. And you notice perhaps that the blades don't close properly. There should be, because of 6 blades, a regular hexagon. So let me just open and you will see that something is not right at some point. I'll try to deal with the camera limitations. Anyways, yes, it's too difficult to film given the camera. Okay, you see it better here. Perhaps look, bear with the camera, right? This is a cell phone camera. At this moment, look at the right upper corner. You see that kind of irregularity. It's not a continuous line. This tells me, I think you see it better now. You see it's like a bump in there. So the blades simply don't align properly. First, why, and the second, is this a real problem? Why I believe this lens was open. There was another thing here that was not okay, a screw. Maybe the person did clean the blades, reassemble, and something didn't go well. For some reason they did not do a good job. Notice it's really not a regular hexagon in there at all apertures. And the second question is this a problem? It depends. You will see answers on internet about similar situations. Well, the question is here, is there one blade that's not closing properly, or maybe 4 out of 6, or maybe 5 out of 6 that don't close properly? In other words, if 5 blades are at the correct position at all apertures, and one it's maybe a little off, then it's not a big problem. You don't change the amount of light by a significant amount. However, if it's rather maybe 5 blades that don't fully close and maybe one it's closing properly, then let's say 5 blades don't move fully to the correct position, then you are putting too much light. How much more light for the given aperture compared to a similar lens that works properly? So how much more light you are bringing in if, let's say, 5 blades don't move fully to the correct position? Maybe even 10%, 20% more light. And then maybe for a larger aperture, it may not depend a lot, but the smaller aperture, if you change increase the amount of light, or maybe even decrease the amount of light, depends how the blades are moving in the correct position, are not moving in the correct position fully, or maybe are moving past the correct position. So if you change the amount of light maybe by 20% at a smaller aperture, then yes, it's going to change the exposure significantly. And basically you don't know, actually. You need perhaps to compare with identical lens that works properly and set it at each aperture and compare the opening. See if it's larger or smaller and how many blades are not in the correct position. So then you may overexpose or underexpose your image, and may depend on film. Some film take this well, others not, but it's not ideal, right? Imagine that. Okay, and it's something the seller was smart enough. It's a camera gear seller who sells a lot of lenses, and this particular listing, all listings, he was putting one of these pictures with the aperture more or less closed, so I can see the blades, so the buyer can see the blades. This lens did not have these pictures with the blades had only open aperture, fully open aperture. So he knew what he was doing. He was misleading in that cell, and that's something that just be aware that happens.